The place of reading. Reading makes the real man. Readers are leaders. What you know is from what you have read. The more you read, the more you know. These are all common quotes about reading. So why do we know all this and yet hardly read enough? An important part of my job role as a senior manager from 2007 up till 2011 in one of Nigeria's foremost commercial banks was to participate in recruitment interviews. Members of the panel knew my last question for every prospective new hire. I would ask the young person, what was the last book you read and when? It will interest you to know that less than 10% of all I ever interviewed were able to completely tell me about any book they have read 90 days before the interview. Does that surprise you? Let me provide deeper information. For those who claim to have read a book, I would put across the rider to the first question. Who is the author of the book you read? And what was the key learning point from the book? Now, only a very tiny minority would discuss what they learned recently. You see, my friends, reading has no substitute if you are to learn. Successful life can never be attained without learning. Most importantly, the moment we stop learning, we stop living. A very bad proverb about reading culture of the black man has it that if you want to hide something from him, the best place to do it is in a book. This is bad reputation. I observed the white man has an advanced reading habit, and this was on a flight to the UK many years ago. While many black people were sleeping all through the flight, the white people in the plane were reading. The fact that Africans do not read enough may also be the reason why we write very little, and predominantly all we are able to write is inspired by what we have read. After the post-independence torrent of books in the African Writers series from about 1970s to 1990, it appeared our great writers vanished. As an author myself, thinking in retrospect, I now know that it was the readers that vanished first and then the authors. We can learn a lot from the world around us about reading and its role in a successful life. Despite a very poor background and without much of formal education, Abraham Lincoln remains one of the most celebrated American presidents. He was an eloquent nationalist and a great writer who shocked well-educated contemporaries with his commitment to reading and self-education. His writing skills in his mature years was primarily influenced by his voracious youthful reading habits. In search of what to read, King James Bible was one of the few books available at that time. Lincoln and his reading peers read it front to back and had to reread and memorize parts of the book. Did I hear you say that it paid off? Of course it did. He became a great president. Today we have millions of books in myriad of subjects, both online and in print. Yet the reading habit continues to slide. We appear so busy with gadgets around us, and then we are bombarded by communication gadgets from the internet and television. So much so that we do not spare a moment in weeks to deliberately feed our mind with good quality stuff through reading. Jim Rohn once asked a television addict what television set in his living room cost, and he said, a few $100s. He was wrong. The TV set cost him much more. It includes the opportunity cost of all the reading he could have done, the long hours he spent watching television. I want to remind you that one of the objectives of this project, The Place, is to continue to harp on the basics for successful life until all the viewers basically adopt them in their everyday lives. If in doubt about where to start with the basics, it is with reading. Start from the areas of your interest. There is so much knowledge out there that it is so painful to imagine a future of the world without adequate learning today. When we read as parents, the content of our communication with our kids improves. In addition, they naturally imbibe the reading habit by watching us and seeing the effects of the knowledge on us. A child who never reads at home is not likely to read in school. Unfortunately, very few parents read. Even fewer take time to read a single book on parenting. Is there any wonder why that we bring out to the society group of youths who detest reading? We all desire to be leaders. But through my teaching today, we are clear that it takes reading to be a great leader. Please start today to read at least one book a month and see your leadership skill continue to grow. Remember, nothing will change around you until you change.